Taurus, hello my darlings, how are you? Welcome to your reading for the week of the 27th of June 2022. I do hope this reading finds you well. I am going to just draw a card straight out from the Chakra Insight Oracle deck. This will hopefully just give us a bit of a vibe, maybe a feel for what's going on for you for the week as a whole. No others coming out there. So the card you have from this deck, my darlings, is self-expression. And the words on here, I'll hold it up for you in a moment, are vocalization, individuality, inner voice, and assertiveness. Okay, so speaking your voice this week, my darling Taurus. Just have to move around away from the light there. So this has actually been a very consistent messages in the readings thus far this week. So it might be that we're all asked to start to step into who we are, stepping into our authentic version of who we are, and stepping into that confidently, you know, and being able to voice who we are and stand up for what it is that we believe in, and express our innermost thoughts and feelings. And yeah, as the card says, you know, there may even need to be some assertiveness. So what I've got here now is the Guidance Oracle, the Goddess Guidance Oracle card deck. And I was called to use this deck because for some people the energy of the last week's been very heavy. So I felt the call to ask for some energies from the goddesses. Now, the intention was that the energies were quite gentle and lovely. Some of them have been kind of kick-ass goddesses, but you've got Lakshmi, so you've got bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. So, you know, that's a lovely, gentle energy. Already the thing that is coming out to me is colour. I have been guided to just grab another card out of this goddess deck as well for you, my darling Taurus. So let's see if there's an additional message for you. But as I said, so far it's the colour that is coming through for me. Obviously that self-expression is going to sit into that throat chakra, that speaking up, speaking out. It may well be that you could have some sort of, like you feel like something's caught in your throat. Often that can mean that there's something stuck in your throat that you want to say. So if you're feeling that you're always, you know, clearing your throat, or you might even feel like a physical lump in your throat, it may be that it's an invitation for you to, you know, sit with what it is that you would like to express, what it is you would like to voice, maybe an opinion about something. Now you also have Sulis, and it's bodies of water. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or ocean, or to recharge your batteries. So calling in maybe some water elements for my very earthy Taurus this week. You may well have some water elements in your chart. So potentially, if that is the case, it might be helpful to go back and have a look at the readings this week for some of those other signs as well, particularly the water signs, if that water energy has come up this week. So the other thing I'm doing this week, which is slightly different from last if you were here, is I'm calling on a couple of cards from the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck as well, and this is going to sit with that overall energy for the week as well. You have the Wheel of Fortune, my darling Taurus. So things may be shifting for you, changing for you. Your fortunes are changing. It is the Wheel of Destiny, really. It's you're now being invited to follow that path, that turning of the wheel, and it does often indicate that those fortunes are changing for the better. So it's in place. Again, I'm getting guided to ask for another card here from this deck. So we'll see what else comes out for you. Thank you. You have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so something could be happening very quickly for you here. Sorry, I'm just still getting used to this new camera. Apologies. Something may well be happening very quickly for you. This often is a bit of a knight in shining armor. type energy. So it may be that someone's coming in to the rescue in inverted commas for you, or you to them. We'll see what unfolds in the rest of the reading. But look, it's a really lovely energy for the whole week, to be honest. It really sets us up nicely for your week as a whole. Okay, so the first card out is the Knight of Cups. So again, this is an action card, similar to that Knight of Swords, something coming in towards you. The Knight of Cups can often be romance coming in towards you. It could be something that's coming in that sort of helps to accelerate that opening of that heart space, opening of that abundance and joy, all that, nourishing sort of heart space feelings and emotions that sit with the cups. So we'll see how that unfolds. I won't go into too much detail until I can get a full picture of the layout. So the layout I am doing is the same as last week. It's the out of the box layout. So it's 8 cards around the outside and then an additional card or 2 outside of the box. The next card out you have is the High Priestess. Okay. And then you have the 6 of Swords. So, my darling Taurus, as always, I have called in my guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors who love me unconditionally and are of the highest vibration. I do invite you to do the same if you are so drawn. It may help you to connect in with the reading a little bit better, but of course you do not have to do so. You will still be divinely protected and you'll still be connected in regardless, as that is the intention that I have made my end. All right, my darlings. Let's see what we've got. The next card out we do have, I'm just seeing if we can get another card before I put the deck down again. No. One at a time, Spirit says. All right. So the next card out is the Ace of Wands. So potentially a new opportunity coming in here for you. You also have the 5 of Cups. There we go. All right. No, not that one. Okay. That one. Yes. Okay. You have the Justice card. Okay. You have the Page of Pentacles. Sorry, there we go. Page of Pentacles out of the light. You have the World card. We'll get it one day. Right. And then outside of the box, this is our additional message from the universe, or a way for us to start to think outside of the box. This is the Hierophant card coming in here. So we'll just zoom out, have a look at what's going on as an overall feel, overall vibe for you. Then we'll break down the cards in a little bit more detail in terms of where they are, in terms of the position of their position in the layout. So I do kind of feel like for you, my darlings, there is some kind of completion of cycles that is happening here. Now, I say that because you've got the World, it's sitting in the position of your career. So it may well be that there's some sort of completion of a cycle in terms of your career. It could be that you could stay in your existing career, but it may be that you're moving almost sideways, or you've done one particular project potentially in that career, and there may well be this new invitation, Ace of Wands, for a new opportunity. And it may well be after this completion that the new opportunity that is presented to you is something that really does speak to your soul. It excites you, it stimulates you, it's something that you're passionate and excited about, okay? So I do feel like that is a potential situation for you at the moment. The other thing a couple of things I'm seeing that support that is the Six of Swords. So that is a transitionary energy. So you are on the move. So you're on the move, and with the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's got the boat going across from rough waters into smooth waters. So the Six of Swords is that idea that you are moving from rough waters into smooth waters, but it's not your final destination, okay? So that's why I feel like it may not be complete closure in whatever it is that you do in terms of that career. It might just be that it's the next step. It's the next thing that's going to happen on top of that, if that makes sense. Regardless, this transition of the Six of Swords does indicate that you will be divinely guided and protected. Also, it's sitting next to the Hierophant card there as well, again supporting that. And then you've got the High Priestess on the other side, so supported both, both really are indicating you'll be supported on a spiritual level, intuitive level. You'll be supported by your higher wisdoms, your higher self. You'll have an intimate, trust that you're going to be supported and guided through whatever this transition is for you. So the other thing is here you've got this Page of Pentacles below the World card. So again, this potentially indicates the start of something new. So again, it may be this new work type career. And I do feel like it's an offshoot. As I said, I don't feel like it's necessarily the same, like a completely different role or completely different career or whatever it is that you do. I feel like it's affiliated. But the Page of Pentacles is that kind of, it's almost a starting point. You come in with the experience, or with the knowledge rather, but lacking the experience. So you may actually feel like you're going into this new position, whether it be a work type scenario where you feel like you've got the knowledge, but maybe you don't have the experience under your belt. But the Page of Pentacles here, remains very curious and excited, and so it's really important to maintain that sense of enthusiasm when we are undertaking new projects, when we're undertaking transitions into new areas of our life, into new areas of our career. So this is sitting in the position of our relationships this week. So it may be related to relationships. We'll have a little bit of a look at that in a moment, but I do feel like it's more related potentially to this relationship here with the World card sitting above it. Okay, I think we'll just jump straight in. Before we do, I do want to come back to that Wheel of Fortune. So that is our overall feel for the week, really. So that, and the 2 nights. So again, things happening very quickly. So this Wheel of Fortune, this idea of your fortunes changing, might be happening very quickly. The Knight of Swords is probably the fastest moving knight. The Knight of Cups, it's a little bit slower. So it's probably Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands, then Knight of Cups. So things are happening quickly for you. Things are definitely moving. This Six of Swords, the movement here is the Taurus is obviously very slow. But I feel like that's going to be sped up by those 2 nights. I feel like it's going to be ramped up with that energy behind it. Okay. So as I said, this Knight of Cups is in the position of your week as a whole, and I've talked about how it fits in with particularly those 2 cards from the Rider-Waite deck. The idea of this energy of the cups, romancing, energy that's coming in potentially. I also want to invite you to make sure that you're allowing that for yourself. So a lot of people watch tarot readings hoping to receive messages of love, particularly if they're our single friends. So, and, there's that old saying is that you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. And so I feel like this could also be an invitation for you to love yourself this week. And I say that because you're being invited to, well, first of all, to stop worrying. Things are going to turn out fine. The Wheel of Fortune is going to turn in your favor. But you're also being invited to, have that step into that place of emotion. So step into the place of the water element, spending time around the water elements such as lakes, rivers, oceans, okay, because water is a great cleanser, and it's the element of the emotions. So it may well be that if you're single, I don't want you to put all of your hopes on this knight in shining armor, and they're both kind of that same sort of card, that one's sort of to the rescue, the other one is more in terms of a romancing type energy. But I don't want you to pin all your hopes on that, and I would invite you to romance yourself. Okay, so if we're looking at the water, maybe can you take yourself on a bushwalk that leads to a beautiful waterfall? Can you run a big bubble bath and light candles all around it? Okay, so I feel like it's almost like you need to romance yourself this week, possibly. For some of my Taurus friends, it can be that romance is coming in, but I feel like that's the message I is strongly coming through, is that don't sit and wait for these energies to come towards us. Be that for yourself, if that makes sense. The other thing that is coming through with that message too is this idea of self-expression and knowing who you are, being your own individual, beautiful soul that you are, because it's when we can sit in that place of authenticity, that's when we're going to attract the right person into us, into our life that can appreciate us. So again, if we're not appreciating and loving ourselves, if we're not being authentic, then we can't expect somebody to come in and fix us, so to speak, okay? And the other message there also that I'm talking about, self-love, self-nurturing, is this Lakshmi card. So stop worrying, everything's going to be fine. So I wouldn't have been surprised with that card to see maybe a 9 of Swords. Just it feels like there may be a little bit of anxiety going on around what your future looks like. But with this Wheel of Fortune, it's telling me that everything's going to work out fine. This Lakshmi card saying the same thing, okay? Right, that was quite convoluted. I do apologise. We've sort of touched on most of the cards, but we'll just do a quick run through the board. So we do have the High Priestess. This is sitting in the position of a surprise or something unexpected this week. So it may well be that if you allow yourself this space, spending time on your own, potentially romancing yourself, speaking your truth, it may well be that it opens up this connection to an intuitive level maybe that you'd not reached before. All right, so it may be that particularly, we often find if we have that time, particularly in nature, that's when we can really tap into those higher wisdoms, tap into that intuitive knowledge. The veil is thinner when we are more relaxed, when we're more open, we are more receptive to receiving those messages, okay? So I feel like you may even surprise yourself with some of the intuitive messages that are coming through this week. I'm very much drawn to particularly the white feather on this card. So it may be, there may be a feather is a particular message for somebody watching, or it might well be that you do see a white feather, somewhere maybe even out of place, somewhere you wouldn't expect it to be. It may be that that's a signifier for you, maybe from somebody who's in spirit, crossed over, that sort of thing. So I do feel like that could be a confirmation message for somebody out there. As I said, the Six of Swords, we have talked about that a little bit. It is this idea of transitioning. The position in the layout is how we can stay grounded and focused this week. So I think that's really about just acknowledging that, life is a journey. We're not going to end up at the world. We've got to go from the Fool, card 0, to all the way through the world. So there is a journey in between. We can't just go from the Fool straight to the world. So I think it's about, in terms of staying grounded, staying focused, is recognizing that you've got to give things time to grow. You've got to give the things time to happen in their own divine timing. So that's the sense I'm getting in that card. Again, the other thing there, I did talk about being divinely guided. You know, we've got the Hare is you know, watching over this Tortoise here. You've got the Hierophant and the High Priestess either side of that. So again, it's about remembering that you're supported, okay? You're supported by something bigger than yourself. You're supported by, it may well be your guides, you know, guardians, guides, angels, ancestors, whatever it is that you, whatever faith, and, you know, with the Hierophant there, it may even be some sort of spiritual belief that you have as well. So use that support of whatever it is that is in place for you to help support that position that you're in, potentially, of transitioning from one thing to another. The Ace of Wands is in the position of your emotions this week. So you may well know that the Ace of Wands is an opportunity. It's a gift from the universe for a new start, a new, you know, there's a new path being offered. And it often relates to, you know, it could be a new form of work, it could be a new passion, something you are creating, something that excites you, okay? Look, it could also be, if I am talking to some of my Taurus out there, I don't think new romance is really on the cards for many, but if it is for you, it could well be related to this Ace of Wands here. So if this Knight of Cups is your romancer coming in, it could well be a very passionate connection as well, okay? So in terms of emotions, it might be that you're just really excited this week about this new opportunity, okay? The next card out is the Five of Cups, and it's sitting in the position of our inspirations this week. So I think the message I'm getting here is similar to that Six of Swords. You know, we're only partway through the journey. So I would look at the fact that you've still got 3 upright cups. So sometimes this Five of Cups is a little bit sort of, woe is me, what about me, you know, crying over spilt milk, if you will. The traditional Rider-Waite actually has 3 cups spilt and 2 cups upright. So this is almost like you've got the bulk of the cups are still upright, and I think I'd like to invite you to use that as your inspiration this week. So acknowledge that you still do have 3 upright cups, and you've got all these other brilliant things around you to support you, to hold you, and really just acknowledge that if you're in a little bit of a funk this week in terms of feeling a little bit of this almost just, I guess, a little bit of sadness, grief potentially in there as well, is just to acknowledge that it is transitional. You're not going to be here forever. You are going to move forward. You move into the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, so on and so forth, eventually to the Ten of Cups, then obviously into the Court cards as well. So there is, you know, with tarot, with life, everything is a progression. So things are always moving forward, okay? The next card out is the Justice card, and this is in the position of how we can best support ourselves this week. I do feel like, so this is obviously I feel like this particular message, it's about a balancing of the ledger, and I feel like this particular placement in this reading, it's about a karmic justice. I feel like you've demonstrated to the universe who you are, and now you're starting to speak your truth, okay? We've got this self-expression here. You're starting to step into this individuality, even this Hierophant here, you know, is a very quirky character, you know. This Llama is really owning who they are. So because you are starting to step into this position of knowing who you are, I feel like it's almost balancing the scales in terms of a karmic realignment, if you will. I feel like with that Wheel of Fortune, that karmic realignment is going to be a good thing, okay? So I don't feel like it's necessarily the idea of, you know, a legal battle or, rights being wronged. I feel like it's definitely on that karmic level. It could well be for a couple of you, but I do feel, excuse me, that's me wanting to say something, that I do feel it's going to be on that karmic level for someone, or for most of you, I should say. So that Page of Pentacles, as I said, it's in the position of relationships. But I do feel very strongly it is related to what we talked about there with the completion of some type of work cycle and the beginning of a new work cycle. So this idea of new relationships, it may well be that this new relationships energy is related to this new opportunity that's coming in after this closure of this this work or career type cycle. So as I said, that World card, you know, it really does speak of accomplishments. Okay, so it's a job well done. So you've gone the whole path. You've demonstrated some great strength and skill and wit and intellect, and now you can kind of almost just relax and enjoy the accomplishments and enjoy how far you have come. So there is please do take the time to appreciate how far you've come. And it might even be that maybe you need a little bit of a holiday. Maybe you need to go on a holiday if you can, even if it's only a day trip, excuse me, to somewhere with a body of water around you. So, all right, my darling Taurus, I think that's pretty much it. The Hierophant here, I think this really is speaking to the idea of, I think it's about speaking your truth, you know. The message that's coming through is very much about this Llama being an individual character, knowing who they are, speaking their truth. That's me, not speaking my truth again. And it may well be that there are some structures in place around you, and it could be in terms of a spiritual setup. So it could be a church or some sort of organization, something that you're in that no longer kind of resonates with you. And often the Hierophant is an invitation for us to question whether those things are still relevant or whether we can adjust them to our modern world. Okay, this is a very modern Hierophant here. That's a very modern character, modern Llama. So I do feel like it's also that idea of knowing that you are your best guide. Again, with this High Priestess here, you know, tapping into that higher wisdom. The Hierophant is often, you're being invited to tap into your own higher self and using your higher self as a spiritual guide, a spiritual leader. So if that does resonate, take it as it resonates, I should say. Okay. All right, my darling, I nearly called you Cancer. My darling Taurus, I do hope you've enjoyed the reading, and I hope to see you next week. I do also want to remind you that I will never contact you directly and ask for any money or readings or anything like that. So please also do be mindful of scammers out there. All right, my friends, I hope to see you next week. If you have enjoyed the reading, please do like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. All right, my friends, bye-bye.